Thanks, Riv. Joined here by Sneaky and Lemonation of Cloud9. Now, my first question for you has got to be, you started the day off with an unfortunate loss. So how does it feel, one, to come back and get that win, that much-needed win, but two, more so is how the preparation is after a loss to come back into a win? Lemon?
Well, we only had one game between to actually look at what they did in their initial game and see how that affects their game plan going in. So we kind of just have to get over the game loss like as quickly as possible, just basically ignore it and just move from there.
So is there anything specifically that you gleaned from compLexity's first game of the day that you were able to utilize in this game?
Yeah, we saw them prioritize Maokai extremely highly. I think that was the most interesting thing, that we didn't actually know if they had that priority or not.
All right. Well, then, Sneaky, with that Maokai priority, you guys chose to pull the lane swap because you had two giant tanks and you picked up the Twitch. So talk to me a little bit about the decision there for the lane swap and how it ended up benefiting you guys more so than them.
Well, Twitch is actually a pretty bad 2v2er unless he's against a really weak laner because of the nerfs that he most recently got. It was like base AD, poison damage. I've tried 2v2ing so much and I just lose out in almost all trades. And I miss kills because of the nerf. So 2v1ing is like the most optimal strat for Twitch. And it came out really well for us because Maokai was... I'm not really sure exactly where he was the entire time, but he got super behind and I was literally double his level. I was 3, or he was 3, I was 6. And we were able to just force a free kill on him.
Yeah, that was a really interesting gank there, top lane. You're already level 6. You were the highest level on your team, actually, at that point, which is very odd for an AD carry. But, Lemon, speaking more to the Maokai being so far behind, and at one point, Mundo had 100 CS to Maokai's 50, right? So it's literally double the CS. Yeah. Why is it that we didn't see you, and this is not a criticism, just a question, is why is it that we didn't see you guys forcing objectives and diving turrets? Instead, you opted for trades around the map?
Well, they're a full magic damage comp, and we had Mundo. So basically, we knew once we actually got our magic resist, we could have these like amazing team fights where we would like guarantee win them. So actually, in early fights, Mundo isn't that strong compared to like a mage like Maokai is. So we didn't actually want to force too hard until we actually had the MR.
Right. So okay. So you're actually taking your lead and saying we can use this to secure the late game and make sure that we're going to have a strong front line to protect our carries.
We didn't want to be too antsy.
Gotcha. Now, Sneaky, something that we noticed in this game is the fact that 2 ADCs were banned, both Trist and Kog'Maw, which are by far the most popular picks at the moment. What's going to happen when Lucian comes back? Right? Is it going to be harder to target ban those ADCs out? Is he still going to be played? What's your prediction there?
It'll definitely be a lot harder to target ban ADs because right now it's super awkward where Tristana and Kog'Maw are like super high priority, and when those are gone, there's like Ezreal, Corki, and Twitch available, but there's no Lucian. So next patch, when we see Lucian back, he'll be just super high priority as well. I think he's still really good on this newest patch.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, could you elaborate a little bit more on like his current changes and what that does to him as a carry?
Well, they nerfed his range, but they gave him a lot more mobility. But in the most recent patch, they actually took back a lot of that mobility. So before, in the patch before they buffed him, you could E in, use your hold combo, and then E out, and you'd be the freest trade ever. But now you E in, and you're going to die.
Yeah, definitely got abused a little bit for the week or so that he had that high mobility. Now, Lemon, moving forward, you guys have TSM tomorrow, who is the team that's kind of vying for that first seed bye with you guys. You now secured a half game up with that win there, but how important is that match tomorrow in guaranteeing that first round bye?
That game basically decides who's getting second place. I think it's going to be very difficult for either team if they go through a loss tomorrow to actually pull ahead. So it's basically up to that game.
And then looking even further to the actual playoffs, regardless of what seed you finish in, because you have clinched your spot there, what is the experience that you guys have as a team going to do for you in these very long best-of series? We're jumping from best-of-1s up to best-of-5s. So as a team that's now been through it, multiple times as compared to, say, compLexity or something like that, how's that going to help you in the playoffs?
I think we'll have more experience and more ability to actually adapt faster in these kind of best-of-3s, best-of-5s. So I think it'll be quite good for us.
All right. And
yeah, I think we've learned a lot through our best-of-3s and best-of-5s. Usually it's like adaptability throughout the entire series is what needs to be learned, and I don't know if a lot of teams like, say, compLexity, who hasn't actually done many of them, would know.
Well, so you had touched on the fact that you kind of had to do that today even, right? You played a game, you had only one game to kind of, you let everything go and then study up and make your your decisions based on the next match. Granted, a different team. So my final question to you, Sneaky, is just looking forward. What are the finishing touches to make sure that you guys can 3-0 a team or whatever going through playoffs?
I think it's just perfecting our practice coming in the next 2 weeks that we have. So if we get down our practice to the best that it can and then we come out ahead through that, then we'll be good.
All right, anything to add there, Lemon?
It's an extremely big patch that's actually coming out. So we have to adapt like very quickly to this.
Do you find that your team is one that can adapt more quickly than others? Do you think that's an advantage for you?
Historically, we have been able to adapt quite well compared to other teams, but it's different every patch, so you never know.
All right. Well, best of luck in that adaptation. Congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see a couple more, right, in the next coming days.
Hope so.
Now we've got to patch up the Nexus for our final LCS game of the day. CLG versus Dignitas. The North American LCS continues.